What's up, guys? Welcome back to the infamous project. You can probably tell and hear that it's an early morning from the sound of my voice and my appearance, and it has been an early week, all week this week, because I really need to make sure that not only can I get project tax return done, but I also want to do a little bit of a transformation on my old white Dutch Coupe. So there's going to be a day. Hopefully I get started on it today, actually, where I'm going to do some transformational items and get that thing looking and feeling the way that I want it to. So needless to say, there aren't enough hours in the typical working day. So I've been getting up way beyond my comfort zone. Been getting up at 6 so far this week and getting out to the shop super early just to be able to put in some solid 12+ hour days, and that's just in the shop, so that's not including the time that I need to follow up on social media and do some video editing and all those other things. So sometimes you just got to get stuff done, but just throwing it out there because some of you guys are probably wondering, why do you sound so bad? Why do you look so bad? Well, there you have it. It's because, well, it's almost daylight out. Well, there's some. So getting back into project tax return here, Dale actually needs to use the lift here shortly. So that's another reason, fighting lift time. I think might need to get another one in the shop here to be able to accommodate some more Foxbody work, because he keeps making the joke that Foxbodies are taking over the shop. So we got a lot of stuff done yesterday on this car. Some things went really well. Some things took a little bit longer than they needed to. So one of those items that took a little bit longer than I was hoping was actually the exhaust. And I couldn't believe actually how much time it took to get the catback to line up properly. And it was more my OCD. I could have jammed that catback in there and it would have been fine. So this catback came off the 86 GT that I stripped down, and just cleaning it up before I install it on this car, because other than being a little dirty, it's actually in really, really good shape. There's a little bit of black overspray on the tailpipes. Make sure I get that off. But otherwise, just using some spray 9 here, you know, simple green, whatever you guys got, and Scotch pad. Wiping it all down. Make it look as good as new again. Then we'll route everything up and get our exhaust bolted on. Apparently already got a rubber up here. All right, so we got the car up in the air, and you can see here that those exhaust mufflers and the way that everything is sitting in there is pretty much dead on, even and straight. So again, that's what I spent most of my time on yesterday, was trying to make sure that that was all good and even, and making sure that nothing's hanging down, because that's the thing with the LX. You can see, you know, the pumpkin, and you can see typically those two mufflers hanging down underneath the gas tank when you can see an LX driving down the road from behind. So exhaust is good front to back, off-road H-pipe here, and you can see got our O2 sensors installed there, so that's all good. One other thing that we managed to do was get the transmission filled up with fluid, so that is also good. You can see got this cool little siphoning system here, and filling up our transmission, getting that all filled up. So key thing is that once the fluid starts coming out the top, we know it's full. Putting in about 3 liters, which is what it calls for. So this should be just enough. Need to wipe off that little leak right there, probably from the cap from when we filled it up. That's pretty much it, guys. I was just trying to make sure that those mufflers were absolutely dead straight and level underneath the car, and most importantly, that the tips were correct and sitting right coming out of the back of the car, because last thing we'd want is some crooked tips or misaligned tips, and well, everything seems to have come out really well. So we got that all buttoned up, and also managed to get all of the brake lines finalized, as I did have to do some flaring yesterday. Busted out the old flaring tool, and we got a new master cylinder reservoir on there, so that's looking all nice and clean. Another thing that came in yesterday was actually the red couplers for the cold air intake, and they look okay. I think I'll go with it, but I think I should have ordered black ones. I think it's just the shade of the red. It's like that shiny silicone, whereas I would have preferred more of a matte. Anyways, what can you do, right? So we got those installed, and we've got the rest of our accessories on. So all of the AC bracket, AC compressor, power steering, everything is mounted there. Just need to get a belt that that's gonna fit. Because a lot of the belts that I have are all for non-AC and no pollution pump. So yeah, need to get a belt ordered, and waiting for this upper rad hose, and then that way we can actually fill up the cooling system and do our last final checkovers on this thing. Managed to get the O2 harness on, and all connected up, and got our O2s installed. So O2 harness is actually coming down through here in the inner fender well, and sneaks up underneath through here right onto the K-frame, and then the plugs for each O2 on either side fit with no issues there. So that's pretty much it, guys. Some pretty good progress on this thing. This is kind of just like the last little nitty-gritty items. The interior, there is one thing that I need to finish in there, despite everything and it being good, is these new seatbelt covers for the buckles, because they are trashed inside the car. So this will make things look a lot better. Once that is done, we'll do a poor man's alignment, and this thing will be ready to get some shakedown action out on the road, and that will pretty much button up everything in terms of mechanical, electrical, and suspension. Then we just need to get that other hood and front bumper cover so we can get those painted up and installed, and this thing's going to be ready to get collected. So there we go. I'm just going to put this car up, go through a couple last things, make sure that all our bleed screws are ready and accessible to bleed these brakes out, and once Dale finally wakes up and gets over here, he can help out, whether I push the pedal or he pushes the pedal, and we'll get these brakes done. Well, here she is, the new look, the 90 GT, sitting higher. Front should settle down a little bit after driving a little bit. I'll take it out for a drive, see how she sits. Hopefully it's all good.